In this video, I'm going to give a preview of the upcoming February 2026 BTO lineup. So in February, basically, there are 6 plots, but they are basically on 4 different towns. Bukit Merah, Toa Payoh, Tampines, and Sembawang. Because as you can see, in Sembawang, there will be 2 projects. In Tampines, there will be 2 projects as well. So I already take a look at every single one of them. And this is the summary that I think will be very helpful for you. So in total, there are around 4,600 BTO units to be released in this February. If you feel that, hey, how come there are only like 6 plots being offered? Well, it is because in February 2026, they are also planning to have sale of balance flats or SBF exercise at the same time. So SBF will bring in about 3,000 units or so. So that's why they don't release a lot of BTO location for February. So if you are looking for a spot that is near a train station, unfortunately, there seems to be only 2 options. So the plot at Bukit Merah is about 350 meters from the Red Hill MRT station, and interestingly, it's actually located next to the Red Hill Peaks that was launched in October 2025. And then the next site that is quite near to MRT station is Tampines Central, but that one is about 650 meters away. So it's not that close, but it's not that far either. And if you see the map, actually there are quite a lot of mature amenities surrounding the area. It also has several malls. So I think even though it's 650 meters, the walk would not feel that far because the area is so well developed. But then the other 4 locations, unfortunately, they are quite far from MRT station. So for Toa Payoh, for example, indeed Toa Payoh is a mature town, but when we look at the map, this location is like far from any MRT station. Because I was trying to check whether it's close to Toa Payoh or is it close to Potong Pasir, etc. But then, according to Google Map, the nearest MRT station is still Toa Payoh, but it is 1.6 kilometer away. So you definitely need to take a bus or ride a bicycle or have your own private vehicle. But it is quite far. So in terms of the on-site facilities, there are 3 projects that has like good on-site facilities, which is the one at Sembawang, Admiral Lane. Tampines Avenue is also okay because it has an eating house. And then Toa Payoh also quite good because it will have a preschool, an eating house, a mini mart, as well as several shops. But then again, it's only fair that Toa Payoh has a lot of on-site facilities because the location, oh my god, it is really, really tucked into like hidden corner of a mature town. Now let's talk about the potential classification. At this point in time, when this video is being made, we don't know yet what is the exact classification for February 2026 BTO lineup. If I have to guess, I think the Bukit Merah plot would be a prime. Why? Because the next door project, Red Hill Peaks, is already classified as a prime in October 2025 BTO launch. So it wouldn't make sense to classify the plot next to it with a different classification, right? And then for Sembawang Drive as well as Sembawang Admiralty Lane, because it has a 5-room, it's in a non-mature town, and it is damn far from MRT station, then I bet it would be standard project. Now for Tampines Central, this is interesting because it is within walking distance to MRT station, and then Tampines is also quite desirable for people on the east, so I think it will be categorized as a plus. I don't think they would go so far as categorizing it as a prime. I think it's just a plus, hopefully. Now the interesting part is the other Tampines location, which is at Tampines Avenue. So these 2 Tampines location is actually quite far from one another. If you look at the map, it's not even close. So I think the Tampines Avenue will be categorized as a standard project, but then the other one most likely would be a plus. But this gives an interesting twist because, as you know, according to HDB rule, you can only apply for one flat type in one town. So meaning if you apply for Tampines Town, depending on your queue number, you could end up with Tampines Central or Tampines Avenue. Then it would be interesting because a plus project would come with a much strict restrictions as well as subsidy clawback. And then as you know, a standard project is more relaxed. So that would be interesting. Now the next one is Toa Payoh. Toa Payoh, I think it would be categorized as a plus. Why? Because it's in a mature town and then it is quite far from MRT station. I'm just taking hints from how Oakfield at Ang Mo Kio in the October 2025 BTO launch was treated. So that project is also far from MRT station. It has a lot of on-site facilities. So I'm assuming this Toa Payoh project would be A+ as well. Could it be a standard just like what happened to Pingy Court at Bedok? I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think this Toa Payoh project would be a standard is because it does not have any 5-room offering. So I would bet that this Toa Payoh plot would be A+ project. Now let's discuss each project one by one. For Bukit Merah, this project would have a 2-room flexi, 3-room and 4-room flat, and in total, it will have 1,040 units. In terms of on-site facilities, it will have a preschool and residence network center. According to Google Map, the nearest MRT station would be Red Hill MRT station. So what I like about this location is that it is within walking distance to MRT station, and then it is a short commute if you are working in the CBD area. And because it is located in a mature town, there are plenty of amenities within walking distance. You can easily go to several hawker centers. There are plenty of shops. You can take bus ride to different locations in Singapore, so that's good. For parents, this location also provides a good school options for your kids, both for primary and also secondary school. And I think this location has a high resale and also room rental value potential in the future just because it is located in a mature town and it is close to MRT station, so I think that would be good. Another thing that I like is because this project has over 1,000 units, this is considered a mega project, which means that in the future, when you are ready to sell, I think you would have plenty of resale benchmark from your neighboring units. So I think that's also good to make sure that the value becomes more competitive when you try to sell it in the open market. So what don't I like about this project? Well, as mentioned, I am guessing that this project would be a prime, which means that it will have the harshest restrictions. So it will come with 10-year MOP. You would have an income ceiling for the future resale buyers, and then you cannot rent out the whole flat even after MOP, etc. So that is something that you need to consider. And then the next thing that you need to consider is that this location is pretty much surrounded by buildings that are already there. So you would mostly have block views. And then another thing to take note of is that probably the entry price would be on the higher side relatively compared to other projects that will be launched in February 2026 BTO lineup. Probably the price would be slightly higher than the Red Hill Peaks that was launched in October 2025, but that would be my guess. All in all, I would say that this project is actually the best location in the February 2026 BTO lineup. And then next one, we have the Sembawang Drive. So this project offers a 2-room flexi, 4-room and also 5-room flat. In total, there are 1,160 units. And then in terms of on-site facilities, unfortunately, it only has a preschool. And then the nearest MRT station is Sembawang, but according to Google Map, it is 1.5 kilometer away. So definitely, this should be a standard project. What I like about this project is that it is one of the affordable option in the February lineup. It will come with standard restrictions, and then because it's a mega project, later on you would have a lot of free sale benchmark. And for families, this location also offers good school options. And then on the other side, what don't I like about this project? Well, it is far from MRT station, and then the nearby amenities is lacking, and then the on-site facilities is also not that good. Because of the remote location, then you would have to be realistic that you would have a limited resale and also rental potential in the future. And to be honest, this is actually the worst option versus the other Sembawang project that will also be offered in the same February 2026 lineup. So which Sembawang project is actually better than this one? Well, it's actually the plot not far from that one. So I'll just call this Sembawang Admiralty Lane project, because at this point in time we don't know yet what's the name of the project, right? So this one is slightly smaller. It has 760 units of 2-room flexi, 3-room, 4-room, and 5-room flats. So the other Sembawang location doesn't have a 3-room, but this one has a 3-room. The location of this one is slightly closer to MRT station, but it is still 1.2 kilometers away. So it's not that near either. Still not within walking distance for sure. In terms of the on-site facilities though, this project has more complete on-site facilities. Besides the standard preschool, it will also have an eating house, a mini mart, and several shops. So that's good. So what do I like about this project? Well, I like that this project has great on-site facilities, and then this should also be one of the affordable option in the February 2026 BTO lineup. And then for families, this location offers good school options. And of course, because this project will be categorized as a standard project, it just comes with the standard restrictions, the 5-year MOP, you can rent out the full flat after MOP, etc. So that's very typical. But on the other hand, what don't I like about this project? Well, again, it's far from MRT station, and then you do have limited nearby amenities. And then because of the location is quite remote, again, you also have a struggle in terms of resale and rental potential in the future. Another thing to note is that this project has a very small 2-room flexi allocation for singles. So as usual, I'm planning to create a separate video for discussion about 2-room flexi, but this is just a heads up that this particular project is very limited in terms of 2-room flexi allocation. However, if I have to compare between this Sembawang project versus the other Sembawang project at Sembawang Drive, this is actually the better option simply because it has more on-site facilities, and then it is slightly closer to the MRT station, but then again, it's still 1.2 kilometers away, so it's still not within walking distance. Okay, next up, we have Tampines Central location. So this project is kind of small because it only offers 250 units of 2-room flexi and 4-room flats, and then that's it. The on-site facilities also, it's only a preschool, and then that's it. But if we look at the map, actually the nearby area have quite a lot of amenities, including several malls, and then it is also within walking distance to MRT station. So Tampines MRT station is about 650 meters away. I know for some people it's not that close, but you know, it is still relatively close, probably about like 10 minutes walk or so. I do believe that if you buy this location, you would have a high resale and also room rental potential in the future. If you have school-going kids, this location also still have good school options for primary and secondary school. And then unfortunately, because the lineup in February 2026 BTO is so limited, I am guessing that this project would be one of the star in February 2026 launch. So what don't I like about this project? Well, I think this project would be very competitive just because of the limited option. Tampines historically is very desirable, and then this location is also relatively close to MRT station, and then it is also a small project. This would mean that the application rate would go through the roof. I can imagine it's going to be very tough in terms of balloting. For singles, please note that this project also have a very tiny 2-room flexi allocation for singles because the majority of it will be allocated for seniors. Another thing to note is probably the entry price would not be as cheap as we think it would be because Tampines resale price is quite high for a location that is far from CBD area. So that would somewhat impact the BTO prices as well. Another thing to consider is because for February, there are 2 Tampines projects. So this one and the other one at Tampines Avenue. But this one is actually better because it's just closer to MRT station, and then it has better amenities in the surrounding area. So you do have ballot risk if you are interested in this particular project. Okay, the next one that we want to discuss is the Tampines Avenue plot. So this location is also quite small. It only offers 280 units of 3-room and 4-room flats. But in this location, there's no 2-room flexi at all. If we look at the Google map, the nearest MRT station is Tampines, but it is 1.1 kilometer away, so you definitely would need a feeder bus. In terms of the on-site facilities, this project comes with an eating house on top of the standard preschool. In terms of classification, I'm guessing that this project will be classified as a standard because, I mean, it's so far from MRT station, right? I would be surprised if this is a plus. I think it will be a standard. Now, what I like about this project is that it has good on-site facilities. And then for families, this location also still offers you good access to primary and secondary school, so that's good. What don't I like about this project? Oh my god, this is another location that is far from MRT station. There's no two-room flexi at all as well. Again, you have a ballot risk if you opted for Tampines in February 2026. But then again, this project is actually the worst option versus the other Tampines project. Another good thing that I can say about this project is probably, well, this one will be a standard project, right? Then it will have less restrictions. I think that's probably the nice thing that I could say about this project. And last but not least, we have the Toa Payoh location. So this is going to be a mega project because it will come with 1,130 units of two-room flexi, 3-room and 4-room flats. Unfortunately, the nearest MRT station is 1.6 kilometers away to Toa Payoh MRT station. However, having said that, the on-site facilities will be quite good. On top of the regular preschool, it will also have an eating house, a mini mart, and several shops. I am guessing that this project will be categorized as a plus, which comes with strict restrictions, as you know, the 10-year MOP, etc. What do I like about this project? Well, I like that this project has great on-site facilities, and that's a good trade-off because the location is damn far. You would have to take a bus to pretty much amenities in Toa Payoh Central Town. And then I also appreciate that for families, this location still gives you good access to several school options, so that's good. If you have your own vehicle, this location is a short drive away to the CBD area. And I also appreciate that because this is a big project, it's a mega project, so it will give you plenty of resale benchmark when you want to sell your flat down the line. On the other hand, what don't I like about this project? Well, you can guess what I'm about to say, right? Far from MRT station. It's always a negative point in my books. Another thing to note is that if we look at the map, this location is actually next to an expressway. So that is something to consider. I think if your queue number is not so good, you might end up with a unit that is facing the expressway. So let's just hope that you get a good queue number, right? Another thing to consider is that the surrounding area is filled with like industrial sites. So that is something to consider. Another thing is that if you want to access amenities, you would need to take a bus ride or ride a bicycle or something. Another thing to be mentally prepared with would be a relatively high entry price for this BTO, simply because it is located in Toa Payoh town, which is historically has high transaction values in terms of resale. So all in all, although this project is located in a mature town, this particular location is not very strategic. It feels like it's hidden in the corner of a mature town. That's how I feel about this location. It would be suitable for those who drive or doesn't mind to take feeder buses. But yeah, this is not really a strong option in my opinion. So in summary, what do I think about February 2026 BTO launch? I think there's no sugarcoating it, right? The options are very, very, very limited. It seems like the only strong option would be the Bukit Merah site and then the Tampines Central site, and then that's it. Which means that we need to wait for the SBF launch to see what are being offered there. However, just based on the historical statistics, usually SBF is very competitive. You would still have a good chance if you are first-timer families, but for example, if you are first-timer singles or seniors or second-timer families, right? Trying to get a queue number in the SBF is going to be very tough for you. But having said that, typically if there is an SBF exercise together with the BTO, the application rate for the BTO would be relatively muted. So which means that if you are open-minded to buy the Bukit Merah town, the February 2026 might be a good chance for you. Because probably quite a lot of people would be drawn to the SBF units instead. But then again, if you want to buy SBF, as you know, the price would be higher than a BTO, even though in general it is cheaper than if you buy resale from the open market. So that is something to consider. So that's my opinion about this February 2026 BTO. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. To support my work, you can give a one-time tip by pressing the thanks button, pick the amount that you want, and click buy and send. Or you can also press the join button for exclusive contents and monthly membership. Your support means a lot to keep us independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!